3 players in the top 8 as we turn our attention towards this match between Wray and Jessup.
So this green-white value town deck, as we call it, it's similar to like the green-white combo decks, but it's cut all of the cards that are just mediocre by themselves and added cards that always have an impact on the game.
Yeah.
So it can be pretty, troublesome for these Grixis decks to deal with collected companies over and over, and then creatures that always have an impact on the game.
When we take a look at this game as we join it in progress, you can see for Jessup, a couple of cards in the graveyard. He's got all the colors of mana, 4 lands out there. He's got a Death Shadow that's pretty large. It's an 8/8. It's just brought Wray down to 7. For James, he's got a Noble Hierarch and a Souza Lost but Seeking. A couple lands on the battlefield, a couple cards in the graveyard, and we don't have a good idea of what's in his hand. That assumes that there's anything there. And in the draw step, we're going to see a Kolaghan's Command go after Noble Hierarch and make James discard, and he peeled a path to exile. So,
oh man,
Jessup's going to search up a land, and a Souza Lost but Seeking's going to be coming in. Great top deck there from James to get himself out of that problem.
And there are a lot of land synergies in this green-white value town deck, as we call it. There's a Souza, we're looking at Courser of Crufix, we're looking at Tireless Tracker, we're looking at Ramanop Excavator. So a lot of things going on with the lands.
Yeah, a lot of goodies.
And Knight of the Reliquary as well, that's a 4 of here.
So this game has taken a turn. That's for sure.
Yeah, Jessup thinking that Kolaghan's Command was just going to lock up this game.
Seemed like it might. All right, well, Snapcaster Mage. Kolaghan's Command, 2, make you discard.
We'll try this again.
Is this going to work this time? It looks like it will.
Yep.
A Souza down, and now Jessup gets untapped. This is where Grixis Death Shadow is so appealing because the power level. He just got blown up by that top deck Path to Exile, but then a Snapcaster Mage off the top has turned things around. Jessup will draw. Picked up a copy of Death Shadow in for 2. Might want to fire off the Thoughtseize as well because there could be a collected company that was drawn. And that's exactly what was drawn, so Thoughtseize will take care of that. Here is Death Shadow, and now it's going to take one heck of a top deck from James, and it's not there. It was actually the 4th land for the company.
Look at you, so sharp. See all the angles.
Not my first game watching here in the booth. Danny Jessup gonna win game number 1 here over James Wray. A little bit of good back and forth between the two. Grixis Death Shadow gonna be up a game here over green-white collected company as we turn our attention to the sideboards. We're gonna start with Wray since he'll be on the play here for game 2. It'll be 2 Selfless Spirit, 2 Stony Silence, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Voice of Resurgence, and all these one-ofs here in Kataki War's Wage, Bajuka Bog, Linvala Keeper of Silence, Whisperwood Elemental, Reclamation Sage, Quasali Pride Mage, and you guessed it, a Grasping Dunes. A little desert deck.
A little Grasping Dunes,
yeah,
huh?
a little desert deck, that's all. So what are you thinking here?
Well, I like him getting bigger with some of these cards. The Voice of Resurgence is very strong in this matchup. The Bajuka Bog's going to come in. Attacking Grixis graveyards is always good. I like the Whisperwood Elemental a lot here. So I would expect all of those cards, maybe some copies of Selfless Spirit as insurance against potential sweepers out of the other side.
For Danny Jessup, we've gone over his sideboard a couple of times, but we'll do it again here with 2 Nile Spellbombs, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Teamer Battle Rage, 2 Flaying Tendrils, 2 Liliana the Veil, a Liliana the Last Hope, a Stubborn Nile, and an Engineered Explosives. Yeah,
a lot of these cards are pretty interesting in this matchup. It's going to be kind of a wait and see what Danny feels about this matchup. The Engineered Explosives has a lot of utility here. Both the Liliana Planeswalkers are potentially very good. Flaying Tendrils is a little more narrow, but there might be enough going on the other side where he wants that card. And I can see him bringing in these Teamer Battle Rages as a way to just barrel over a small chump blocker in order to close out a game. Also, Collective Brutality, it can take out a small creature in the game. A Duress Effect is fine against an opponent that has collected companies and Path to Exiles. So there's a lot of different options here. I don't think all of those cards are going to come in, so we got to wait and see what Danny feels are the best cards for this matchup.
Those are the options there for both players. They're going to sideboard shuffle up here for game number 2. We'll get ready for that. But in the meantime, Grand Prix Washington, D.C. taking place over Labor Day weekend, I believe September 1st through the 3rd. And you do know that today is the last day that you can sign up to get that Hour of Devastation playmat. But we got a lot of information about that tournament here from Jeremy Nolan. He's going to tell you about it right now.
On September 1st through the 3rd, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Washington, D.C. Register by Sunday, August 6th for the standard format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and receive an exclusive playmat featuring Hour of Devastation. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Hour of Devastation playmat. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim an Hour of Devastation playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. Playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. Want to play on Magic's grandest stage? Compete in the Pro Tour qualifier on Sunday and receive a Progenitus foil promo just for playing, plus the chance for an invitation to Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan in Bilbao, Spain. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Washington, D.C.'s many special guests, including cosplayer Christine Sprinkle and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Rob Alexander. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Washington, D.C. today.
September 1st through the 3rd, a little standard GP in Washington, D.C. over Labor Day week, and we hope to see each and every one of you there. And if you are going to be playing in the main event, you already know that. Make sure you do register by today so you can get that Hour of Devastation playmat with your main event registration. Game number 2 underway here between James Wray and Danny Jessup. Jessup able to come back in game number 1. That's why he's ahead against this Green White Company deck, the Value Town deck that Todd Stevens does love so much. And underway here in game number 2. A windswept teeth is where James will start things for Jessup. See how he begins things. He'll sacrifice a Bloodstained Mire.
Yeah, these Death Shadow decks always have so many options in the first couple of turns. They play so many 1-drops you want to go after. After the opponent with a discard spell, you want to start, sculpting your draws. You want to build up your graveyard. There's a lot of options going on.
Yeah.
It's things like that that make this Death Shadow deck one of the best decks in the format, having lots of options, lots of decisions, but it also makes it extremely hard to play correctly all the time.
That is a Serum Visions, as we've just been informed that Jonathan Rossum, rhymes with awesome, won his match this round, playing Jeskai Control, so it looks as though he is a lock for top 8 as well. So congratulations to Jonathan. As we are checking some more boxes here on top 8 competitors. Looks like got a Jeskai Control, a Merfolk, an Affinity, and an Eldrazi-tron. And the winner of this match should be in 2.
Love it.
Diverse top 8 for sure.
Yeah, it keeps things so interesting and fresh. And it also means you have to be careful with every sideboard slot. You can't just show up trying to hate out one deck.
That's not going to work. That is not going to work, folks. Head over to James now. See what he wants to do here with this land. He's going to play that untapped. Simply pass the turn back over to Jessup. 17-all. Kolaghan's Command the draw. Hard to pass that one up.
Yeah, such a powerful card in this matchup.
Yeah.
We get a good look at the hands here.
Yeah, it's a Thoughtseize here from Jessup. 2 Knight of the Reliquary, Path to Exile, Lingering Souls, and Azusa Lost but Seeking, and a Forest.
So going through this hand, I mean, the Azusa only has 1 other land in the hand, so there's not a lot of interest in taking that. Obviously, you're not putting Lingering Souls right into the graveyard. He just still gets so much value out of that. So the question is Path to Exile or Knight of the Reliquary. If Danny has a lot of answers already to these Knight of the Reliquaries, he's probably going to take the Path. Obviously, a little bit of that hinges on whether or not he has a creature he wants to play as well.
Well, it seems like that question was just answered as he plays a Bloodstained Mire. And simply going to pass the turn back here. James will draw. Looks like he may have just picked up another copy of Path with his draw step. See which creature he wants to lead out with here. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a knight. Just going to want to get these established at some point. Could also just start with Lingering Souls, to be fair. All right, he'll go with knight. Pass the turn back. You see the fatal push there in Jessup's hand. No real surprise there.
Yeah.
At least to me.
Yeah, I kind of like the Lingering Souls on that turn, just getting a few threats on the board. But it's also a little dangerous to be picking away at the Death Shadow's life total. They're fine with taking some damage throughout the game. So you're almost helping them out when you're doing that.
We'll head back over to Jessup, who's at 12. Thought Scour's going to target himself. Kolaghan's Command. Death Shadow will go to the graveyard. He'll draw a card. Picked up a Stubborn Denial. That is a Polluted Delta. This is a Tassiger, the Golden Fang. Jessup going to figure out exactly what cards he wants to delve away.
Yeah, being very careful with this.
Those creatures go away. Tasker comes to play. We head back over to James Wray. Here's Lingering Souls. And it looks like Jessup's just going to let that resolve. He does have a Stubborn Denial in his hand, but clearly not overly concerned. Now, it only makes 2 spirits.
All of them.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, he also has that Flaying Tendrils in his hand.
True.
So, you know, he's fine with a bunch of little creatures ending up on the board here. He'll take care of those later.
Yeah. All the spirits, your turn.
In good time.
Card might be a little too good then. Just going to put that out there. Jessup going to sacrifice a land. He'll get himself a Steam Vents. This one's going to enter the battlefield tapped, however.
Yeah, he has that Kolaghan's Command to rebuy that Death Shadow if he wants it, but he's going to still be careful with his life total here.
Yep. In there.
Looked like another Stubborn Denial. That's actually a pretty good draw for him. You know, he's got control of the game right now, and that'll let him keep playing from ahead.
Yeah, I think right now he's just looking for one more land.
Yes.
So he can Flaying Tendrils plus over the course of the turns. There's a Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, it'll allow him to leave up the Stubborn Denials if he wants to cast Kolaghan's Command or Flaying Tendrils.
Now here's a Lingering Souls.
I like the shrug.
It's fine.
Yeah. See if I care.
Yeah. In for 2. Don't mind taking damage either when you're playing this deck.
Yeah.
As long as you're not at 0, you're fine.
Helping him out.
Yep. Jessup might be thinking Kolaghan's Command here.
Yeah, I think James just passed on his turn, and so Jessup's wondering, you know, do I need to start using my mana now?
Looks like the answer is not just yet. Street Wraith to draw.
He really just wants a 4th land.
The question, of course, is what is he willing to do to find it? Here's Flaying Tendrils. There's Path to Exile to take care of that.
Well, there's the 4th land.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Swamper Island on the way here for Danny. He'll go with the Swamp. And we're going to head back over to James. He's hoping for a big draw. He's found that 5th land for Whisperwood Elemental. That is big. It's a weird thing to say that that's a big draw, but it costs 5.
Yeah.
So you can't Fatal Push it.
It's a 4/4 body, so it lives through a lot of things.
Yep.
And it brings multiple threats with it.
Yep. It's basically everything that you could hope for in this spot, in this matchup.
This is a card that Todd Stevens has been playing with a lot.
Yeah.
He's been tinkering with it in a lot of different decks.
Jessup going to cycle a Street Wraith here. He's going to fall down to 7. Picked up another copy of Snapcaster Mage, and as good as Snapcaster Mage can be, he's having some trouble working through this 4/4. And now it feels like he kind of needs land 5. Here's Kolaghan's command. 2 there. Get back Death Shadow. Play Death Shadow.
Ooh, a little Noble Herrick hiding under there.
Well, that manifest is done.
There's more coming.
Yeah, there are. Let's go back over to James. He'll draw a card. He's got a Sousa, neither Reliquary, and then we'll see what he picks up.
And his board's going to start getting real wide here.
Mm-hmm. Right now for Jessup, his Death Shadow, 6/6. There's neither Reliquary. Here's a Whisperwood Elemental activation. A manifest, and we're going to head back over to Jessup. He'll untap. And he will draw a copy of Polluted Delta. Pretty timely. Let's take a look at Whisperwood Elemental one more time. The manifest thing it does is pretty easy. Now you can sacrifice Whisperwood Elemental until end of turn. Face up non-token creatures you control. Gain when this creature dies. Manifest the top card of your library.
It's insurance against wrath effects.
Yeah.
And Danny, he has a lot of problems here. He doesn't want to leave the Knight of the Reliquary on the table, but he also doesn't want to leave the Whisperwood Elemental on the table. Can't really do any attacking right now.
Well, it does get a little bit interesting to me here on if he can and can't attack. He's got a Fatal Push.
Sure.
And he's going to start by killing that. Because the way that Scavenging is actually killing, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that was a goodie.
But the way that things kind of look this game is him just kind of passing a bunch, I don't think is going to do much for him winning the game. So I think he's got to kind of get a little bit busy here. Looks like he's going to sacrifice Polluted Delta.
Yeah, he might be thinking Snapcaster Mage, Fatal Push the Knight of the Reliquary,
Yeah.
get to attacking.
And I like that.
Well, I believe he has 2 Snapcaster Mage. There's now 2 Fatal Push in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So he's setting himself up for just 2 attacks that would kill James right here.
And he's got 2 Stubborn Denials in his hand.
Yeah, I like this plan as well.
I think you get yourself a land that deals yourself damage. Get on a 4. 13 minus 4 means that thing's a 9/9.
I don't like going to 4 into the face of the Whisperwood Elemental.
Well, I guess the only reason I'm okay with it is because I don't think that there's a I don't think there's a Fiend Hunter-esque effect.
Sure.
So the Stubborn Denial is just going to be counterspell. I mean, it's risky, no doubt. But you've got a blocker in Snapcaster Mage.
Yes.
And you've got Stubborn Denial at the ready. So here is Snapcaster.
Yeah, I guess one of my concerns would be another Lingering Souls that could be cast twice.
That's a little scary. It's a little scary.
You know, the chances of James already having Path to Exile here is almost 0. The chances that he has a Collected Company is almost 0.
Yep.
He definitely would have cast these cards by this point in the game.
Yeah. Push will take care of that. Death Shadow coming in. Rumble.
I do like this aggressive play that he's taking here.
Likewise. Pretty big fan of it.
But I do kind of wish that we could just take and attack from this Whisperwood Elemental and not have to be on chump block duty for the rest of the game.
Well, you were scared of Lingering Souls, and that was the draw.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now it is on James to cast Lingering Souls here.
Sure.
Because he has a Sousa, which not casting.
Yep.
But also has Knight of the Reliquary and Lingering Souls.
Yeah, I like Lingering Souls just because it's 2 plays in this turn. It uses
yeah.
all of your mana. It gives you tons of blockers for the Death Shadow so that he can't just pick off one of your guys.
I think Lingering Souls may have been the best possible draw.
Yeah, I would definitely attack here if I was James. Make him chump block. Cast the Lingering Souls twice. If he's got the Stubborn Denial, then he still needs 2 removal spells to get rid of both the tokens in order to kill me.
I was tricked. It was Selfless Spirit.
That's funny.
They look pretty similar.
Making 2 plays that are creatures are still fine here.
Yeah. Here's Selfless Spirit. And Selfless Spirit's actually still pretty good. There's relevant text on that card.
It's a flying threat. It protects you from some sweepers.
Yeah.
And, you know, with Danny in chump block mode, being able to play 2 creatures and a manifest means he now has to have 3 spells.
Well, he does have to be a little careful, though, because James right now is at 3. Okay, he was not willing to go down to 2.
Okay.
And now he manifests, and we go back over to Jessup. Jessup will draw. Gurmag Angler.
That's a pretty good draw here.
Yeah. 1 mana Boom Boom.
So you can play the Angler. He can play a Snapcaster Mage and push one of the opponent's things.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to start by attacking. And he would still have a mana up for the Stubborn Denial.
Yeah, so he can just basically do it all.
Yes.
Pretty good spot.
And he wouldn't have to chump block because the Angler's a 5/5 in the face of the 4/4 Whisperwood Elemental.
Yeah,
that was a great draw there.
Big. Big.
Oh, don't do this.
He's targeting Flaying Tendrils.
That's an interesting one.
Oh, he's just going for the W.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of both the blockers.
Yeah.
The nightmare is if this manifest flips up into a 3 toughness creature.
That would be horrible. It's just a random card.
Yeah.
Now he wants to take a look at Whisperwood Elemental, and we're going to do that again.
Oh, he can create another manifest.
Well, sacrifice until end of turn, creatures you control, when this creature dies.
Okay, so it doesn't work against Flaying Tendrils.
Yeah, because Tendrils exiles. So what do we have here? Sacrifice. Okay, well, it's not a big creature. Draw a card.
Well, he had a chance. He could have sacrificed the Whisperwood Elemental.
Okay.
And then sacrificed the Selfless Spirit.
Okay.
Manifest it again and have the chance of something that he can turn face up.
Sure, okay.
But all of these are very narrow corner case plays.
Absolutely. Here's Flaying Tendrils. We're getting to the nitty-gritty here, folks.
We'll see what James is thinking.
Going to Ghost Quarter his own land now.
He just drew a card. Okay, it's not Path to Exile.
Yep. It's a Noble Hierarch. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. He flips it up, he still loses the Flaying Tendrils. And Danny Jessup is going to win this game and match here over James Wray, 2-0. Grixis Death Shadow going to take care of Green-White Company. And for Danny Jessup, it is back-to-back SCG Tour Open top 8s. He did it with what one could argue was the best deck in the format, and he'll be moving on. He is our 5th player into the elimination rounds.
And it looked like in the mid